What's going on, YouTube, man? Long time no see. Long time no see. So in this video, we pretty much just gonna recap the spring semester right now. Okay, so why did I have to disappear, man? Finals was crazy. Now I had about 4 hard classes this whole semester, right? I had history, thermodynamics, dynamics, and physics 2. Now the reason why all 4 of those were hard is because all of them were demanding. Like all 4 of them wanted like all your time, and these are 3-credit courses. So I think they say like what, you got to study like 2 hours per credit. And so I'm taking 21 credits and they're all 3-credit courses and you got to study 2 hours per credit. So that's a lot of hours of studying. It's almost like it's not even that many hours in a day for you to understand while you're studying, because you still got to do the homework. You still got to do the lab reports. You still got to write papers, and then you got to understand what you did to be able to perform on a test. All right, so everybody knows you're going to run into a challenge, right? Like that's going to happen. Like if you come in this program for State 21, no matter what your degree is, you're going to run into some sort of challenge. It might be a family challenge, where it's just personal, like personal life just hitting you, or it's going to be an academic challenge. Like you can't really have a smooth sailing through anything in life that's worth having, especially if it's like, you know what I'm saying, like it's very sought after. So you're going to be in a challenging situation just because you got to finish your degree so quickly, and it's like the bar expectation that's already high. All right, so this previous semesters, like we just finished fall, right? So the summer and the spring semesters weren't really that bad, but I had a challenge in math. So I overcame math. Like we good with math now. Like I don't consider math a weakness, but this time physics wanted concepts. And concepts are a lot different than just math problems, because you got to understand why you're doing something, and then understand like, okay, the concept is like of a mirror. We had to understand why the mirror actually works like a mirror. So you got to understand reflection and you got to understand refraction. So it's just a whole bunch of different stuff when you're dealing with physics, because physics, especially depending on the professor you have, it could be quite demanding. Okay, boom. So getting through physics was a challenge, right? And so how did I overcome it? Man, I studied physics pretty much every single day this whole semester. And how did I study? So the studying is kind of different, right? If you're coming through the military, you're really dealing with memorization. Like you just got to make sure you memorize something and kind of like recognize it when the tests come. That's how it was for aviation ordnancemen. Don't know how it is for different tests, but for my exams, it was recognizing and just memorizing. So when you're dealing with like school stuff, you got to have the practicality of it, right? So you got to understand the concept, and then you got to practice it enough so that you can be able to perform the different math steps and stuff like that. Now, when you're dealing with calculus-based physics, yes, calculus is involved in it, but like if you did okay in calculus, you'll be okay in calculus-based physics. So don't be too alarmed in that. You just have to understand how to perform the steps. Now, that wasn't my issue. The issue was actually understanding what was going on. And how did I have to overcome that was office hours. I went to the professor's office hours like crazy. Like every single day that she had availability, I would sit there and just explain back to her, and then she'll be like, nope, that's not how I want you to say it. This is how I want you to say it. And then you have to practice how the professor wants you to say it. And that's how I got through physics 2. Now for the State 21 people, like it got to the point like where I didn't really know if I was gonna pass physics 2 or not, right? I passed physics 2 with a C. I have to put that out there so you guys understand, like I'm human too, right? So I passed physics 2 with a C. I was sitting in my debrief with the lieutenant of the ROTC unit. Like, so we got actual lieutenants that's in charge of the ROTCs. So I went to my lieutenant. I was like, man, look, I don't even know if I'm gonna pass this. And he was like, what do you mean you don't know if you're gonna pass this? I was like, sir, it's hard, da 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 da. He was like, it got to the point where I had to ask him. I said, sir, what happens if you fail a class as a State 21 student? And he was like, you know, you'll be set on academic probation. We have to put it on paper in the unit, just pretty much document your progress. Or if you're failing too many classes, we'll have to talk about that, but that's a different story. And he was like, okay, so you might have to repay that money back, because with State 21 and a GI Bill, it's only so much money allotted, and it's not really meant for you to retake a course, right? So that course difference, if you run out of money, then you have to pay that course out of pocket because you had to retake it. And then he was just like, man, honestly, it'll just be best if you just make sure you do everything you can do just to make sure you get a C out that class. Now, a lot of people figure out like, okay, a D is passing in some universities, but that only depends, because if your course is a prerequisite, meaning that you need that course to go to another course, you cannot get a D. You must get a C. It'll say it in your in your academic statement. Like, you must get a C or better in order to move on to the next course. So yeah, man, bottom line, you don't want to fail no courses. You want to keep doing your best. And if you feel like you're struggling, ask for help early and often. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started asking for help after I failed my first test in that course. I went for help immediately after that, and I had help ever since throughout the whole semester. Like, even though I wasn't understanding, I wasn't getting it, but you still got to understand, like, that shows that you care enough about yourself and about your grade, and you care about learning. That way, when the professor comes to the end, she'll be like, man, look, perfect attendance, came to my office hours, and then I explained to him, that person explained back to me. Maybe that person's trying the best they can. And so, like, those little brownie points, you know what I'm saying, they might help you in the future and you don't even know it. So right now we're going into the spring semester, man. I just looked at my schedule like maybe an hour or two ago, man. I had fluid mechanics, I had advanced materials lab. I still got some crazy classes ahead of me. I'm a mechanical engineer major, so that's what, you know what I'm saying, that's expected, right? And State 21, still a good deal. Just make sure you do your best to pass these classes and put your best foot forward. Like, do everything with intention, so when you need help, people will be more inclined to help you. Hopefully that made sense, man. So I'm about to get into these comments, responding to all these comments, emailing everybody back. Hopefully you guys having a great week, and I'll catch you guys next video. Peace.